My dear audience, today, I am going to tell you the story of a woman whose life crumbled right before her eyes. She is one of the bravest souls to ever walk this earth. This is the story of Sarah, a simple woman living in a small town, her hands always ready, with kindness, her heart overflowing with love. Sarah was married to a good man. They had a little boy named Michael. Michael was Sarah's world, her everything, her morning, her sun, her moon. But one night, everything changed. A night when fate played its cruelest trick. Sarah's husband died in a certain place under certain circumstances that immediately pointed the finger of suspicion at Sarah. The police came, people gave testimonies laced with doubt and lies. Sarah was accused of murdering her own husband. She was shattered, her heart broke, her words stopped coming out. She wanted to scream, she wanted to cry, she wanted to tell people this is a lie, this is all wrong. But her voice died in her throat. She was completely alone at that moment. There was no one to help her. Michael was only 4 years old at the time. He didn't understand why his mother was being taken away. He thought his mother was angry with him. He saw his mother crying. And Sarah, she stood there, tears in her eyes, watching that little boy she was leaving behind forever. The walls of that prison were like a grave for Sarah, where her freedom, her right to be a mother was buried. The first year passed in the cold, dark cell of the prison. Sarah only thought of Michael. She talked to the walls. Michael must be growing up, going to school. Does he miss me? Inside, she broke every day, and every day she gathered her pieces and built a new courage. She had only one goal: to hug Michael once more, to look into his innocent eyes and say, "Son, your mother is innocent." Years passed. Michael grew up. He heard his mother's story from people. Shame and anger burned in his heart like two kinds of fire. He never spoke his mother's name to anyone. He thought his mother was guilty. This pain was greater for Sarah than the prison sentence itself. Her son's doubt, her son's hatred was tearing her soul apart. But Sarah did not lose hope. She knew that the truth of her innocence would surely come out one day. She started reading law books inside the prison. She talked to every inmate, big and small. She listened to their experiences. While staying in prison, she began preparing to fight the battle for her innocence. One day, a new inmate came to the prison named Maria. Maria was an old and capable lawyer who had broken her own principles for the sake of money. Sarah befriended Maria. She told her story. Maria initially showed little interest. But the shine of innocence in Sarah's eyes and the mother's love melted Maria's heart. Maria reopened Sarah's case. She looked at the old files. She reread the testimonies. She carefully examined every minor detail. And then she realized that many links in this case were incomplete. Many lies had been hidden. They together made a plan for the outside world. They had to find the evidence that could free Sarah. Michael was now a young man studying in college. The pain of his mother's absence was still in his life. Maria met Michael. She told him Sarah's truth. She showed him the evidence she had found. Michael's heart pounded hard. The hatred inside him now turned into doubt, and doubt now into yearning. He asked permission to visit his mother in prison. When Michael came before Sarah, they both looked at each other in silence. 20 years of distance, 20 years of pain, stood between them like a deep chasm. Tears were in Sarah's eyes. Shame was in Michael's eyes. Michael said, "Mom, I am so ashamed. Please forgive me. I kept doubting you." Sarah stroked his head and said, "Son, your mother will always forgive you. Just know that your mother is innocent." That day, Michael decided to join his mother's fight for innocence. He quit college and started working with Maria. They started a small NGO called Voice of Truth. Their goal was to help all the innocent people like Sarah who had been wrongfully or conspiratorially imprisoned. They found a new witness, an old friend who had remained silent out of fear. Now he was ready to tell the truth. This witness knew the secret behind Sarah's husband's death, and Sarah had nothing to do with that secret. Maria and Michael gathered the evidence. They worked for years. They knocked on every door. They talked to every person. Finally, the day came when Sarah's case was reopened. There was a crowd in the courtroom, media, and the final battle between truth and lies. Maria presented the evidence in court. Michael called the witness. What he said created silence in the court. The witness stated that Sarah's husband's death was not murder, but he was part of a large financial fraud. And when that fraud was about to be exposed, he took his own life and placed all the responsibility and suspicion on Sarah. The proof of Sarah's innocence was before the court. The judge announced the verdict. Justice for Sarah is a long overdue victory. The court finds Sarah Richter innocent of all charges. She is free to go. When Sarah heard this, she couldn't believe it. The suffering of 20 years, the pain of 20 years flowed out as tears from her eyes. She walked out of the courtroom, the sunlight fell on her face. She felt like she was stepping into a new life. Michael was standing outside. He hugged his mother, a long, deep hug filled with 20 years of missed love. People saw her, people clapped for her. All those who considered her guilty were now celebrating her courage and her innocence. Sarah told Michael's son, "Now both our lives are new. We will forget this sorrow together." But Sarah's story did not end there. She used her freedom to expand the voice of truth. She helped all the innocent prisoners who had been wrongly punished. She turned her suffering into strength for others. She told the world not to judge a person by their situation, but by their courage. Sarah started a new life with Michael. She started painting. Michael spread his mother's story to the world. She became a woman whose courage had broken the prison walls. She became a mother whose love could not be diminished by 20 years of separation. My dear audience, Sarah's story teaches us that no matter how deeply the truth is buried, it will surely come out one day. And a woman's courage is her greatest strength. She does not give up. She only learns, fights, and wins. If you liked Sarah's brave,